Example 12.6 says write an equation in vertex form of the parabola that has the same shape as the graph of f of x equals 2x squared, but with the point -8, 7 as the vertex. So there's lots of good clues here as to what we're trying to do. We're trying to write an equation. Specifically, we're supposed to be writing an equation in vertex form of a parabola. So when I see the word parabola, I'm going to automatically think that I'm talking about a quadratic or a squaring function. Now, it also tells us that we're talking about vertex form, and right now, vertex form only applies to a quadratic function. So that's another indication that we must be talking about something quadratic, even though it doesn't actually use the word quadratic in the statement here. So what I'm trying to create is an equation that looks like a times x minus h squared plus k. And if you want to use function notation, you can. It doesn't say you have to, it just says write an equation, and there's no specific function mentioned other than f of x equals 2x squared. So I'm just going to say y equals, and that should be fine. So again, this is a little bit like example 12.5, where if I want to write this equation, I'm going to have to figure out what's the value of a, what's the value of h, and what's the value of k, and then just substitute those things in. What I think is probably the most obvious of these information is the h and k, because it tells us we have to use the point -8, 7 as the vertex. So that would certainly represent the h and k that I need. So h will be -8, k will be 7. And then a is what helps us to see the shape of the graph. That would be, does it open up or down? Does it have a vertical stretch or shrink? That's what a does. Well, we know that we're supposed to have the same shape as the graph of f of x equals 2x squared. Well, there's your a value right there. If it says 2x squared, then it has a vertical stretch of 2 applied to that particular graph. So then we want our equation to also have that same vertical stretch. So we'll want 2 to be the a value for our equation. So we would say y equals 2 times x minus -8 squared plus 7. And then I'll clean that up just a tad and have it be x plus 8 squared plus 7. And that is our final equation written in vertex form for the parabola that has a vertical stretch by 2 and has the point -8, 7 as its vertex.